Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now before I get started today, I just want to let you guys know about some t-shirts I've got that have recently come out thanks to teespring.com. They've done a great job on these and I'll leave a link to them down below in the description should you want to buy one. There's also hoodies and mugs and stickers and stuff like that. And like I say, I'll leave a link down below for that. There's some first edition ones available right now for a limited time. So moving on to today's video, and we're going to be talking about this, a tiny round PC from a company called Powerlead. This isn't a sponsored video or anything, but it's just a PC that I found on Amazon for about £90 here in the UK, but it's also available in the States for around $100 on sites like AliExpress. So before we power up this thing and take a look at all of its specs, let's have a look around the outside. So on the front we've just got the simple power button here, as well as a webcam, which I've never seen before on a what you could suppose call a desktop PC. And around the back we've got 4 USB ports, an Ethernet port, as well as an HDMI port and a little hole for your power cable there. On the top we've got Windows 10, because this is of course a Windows 10 PC, and there's actually no way to get inside this thing. I've tried to, just to see how it could possibly be laid out, but unfortunately I can't quite crack into that. So let's turn it on and see what this thing can do, and whether or not it's worth buying. So first we must power on our system, and let's do that right now. So as you can see, here we are in Windows 10, and as you can probably hear as well, this PC makes literally no noise. If we take a look at the specifications here, you'll see that we've got an Intel Bay Trail Z3735F quad-core Atom processor clocked at 1.8 GHz, as well as Intel HD graphics and 2 GB of DDR3L Ram, as well as 32 GB of storage. So what is it like to use this device on a daily basis? Well, let's take a look around. Now, as with Windows 10, everything is laid out normally, but we're just going to open up a few things here just so I can demonstrate how snappy in general the performance is. So as you can see, everything opened up there quite quickly. Now we're going to head into Edge and take a look at YouTube to check out the streaming performance. So here we are streaming 1080p video, and there's no nasty hiccups or anything like that. In fact, it runs just flawlessly, as does Netflix, as well as other video streaming services. So if you wanted a PC like this to use as a multimedia build, something that sits in your living room and is also quiet, then this thing is very good for that. So of course now we must check out a couple of games. So what I've done here is loaded up Far Cry 2 first of all, a game that's probably going to be quite intensive for this system to handle. Unfortunately we've had to turn everything down to the lowest settings with 1360 by 768 resolution, and the game actually doesn't perform too badly. It's actually more than playable, and we're achieving roughly anywhere between 25 and 30 frames per second, although I could imagine that that will get a lot more intensive and the game will slow down a lot more when we get to those more action-packed scenes. But for just walking around the wilderness like that, it plays well and it doesn't look too bad either. So let's try some less demanding titles and games that you're more likely to play on this device. So here we are in Minecraft, a game that's a little less demanding and would run almost perfectly on a system like this. Unfortunately though, we have had to turn the game down to the low settings once again at 1360 by 768 resolution, but the game doesn't actually run all that bad, except from the occasional stutter and slowdown, as you can probably experience on the screen there, dropping to about 20 frames per second or lower on some occasions, although I'd estimate that it probably averages out at around 40, so it's definitely a playable experience. Finally, here we are in CSGO. Now, in this game we've had to turn things down to the very low settings, as well as 720p resolution for the best results, and the game is averaging around 35 frames per second. There really isn't that much stutter to speak of, although if you want a better CSGO online experience, a competitive game like this would require a lot more frames per second in my opinion. As you probably saw there, we did experience a little bit of lag, but it's nothing too bad, and this is sort of among the games that you could probably expect to play on a system like this. And just as a quick note, the webcam seems to work okay too, although it's probably not the best quality in the world. but I can't imagine you ever needing to use a desktop PC as a webcam as I'm using it right now. Well, there we have it. I've had a lot of fun using this thing, and it's actually quite snappy and would probably make a pretty decent Netflix system, something that could be used to watch HD videos, stream a few movies, and even play a few very, very light games. Although, as you saw there, I wouldn't try and run anything too intensive with it. So I was actually reading through the Amazon reviews of this, and it turns out that someone was using it in their car. Now, before it turned up, I was thinking, how can you use it in your car, a desktop PC? And it was only when it arrived and I saw the size of the thing that I realised, yeah, you probably could, although I wouldn't advise it because it's probably a little bit dangerous. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, a look at this tiny little Windows 10 PC, a product that I would 100% recommend. In fact, I'll leave a link to it down below should you want to buy one of these in both the UK and anywhere else in the world as well. So as always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.